So when you're ready, you might need a couple of blocks today. If you don't have them, don't worry too much about them. And you could use a strap as well, a bit later on in the class. But again, if you don't have them to hand, don't worry too much. But we're going to come into a child's pose first of all. So again, if this is not comfortable for you, then you can adopt your own seated position. That's fine. But if you can't, take your feet maybe together and your knees quite wide. Just adjust that, and you can use blocks or cushions or anything that you need to pad your legs. And then just coming down, so you can either use a block here for your head or a couple of them. Cross your arms over and drop your head down towards your arms, or if you can, just have your elbows bent and try and release your forehead to the ground, but just see whatever feels best to you. And then just taking a few moments, coming away from your morning and just beginning to draw your attention inwards. Start to bring your awareness to your breath. Allowing the breath just to move easily in and out through your nose. The breath begins to smooth out. Just noticing your body here, just how it feels. And maybe scanning it for areas of tension or tightness. And then allowing that to release a little bit. So in this morning's class, we're going to do a practice in calm. So really seeing calm as being like a superpower. So forget the ability to be able to fly or to become invisible. Being calm in a stressful situation is really invaluable. So trying to cultivate feelings of calm in our body and in our mind, and being able to respond to things rather than to react to things. So we are going to move a little bit first. So when you're ready, you could stretch your arms out in front of you, and you could lift your head just a little bit. We are just going to take a little stretch here. So we'll take the right arm just underneath the left arm. And if you can, start to lay down onto that right shoulder. And maybe stretch your left fingertips a little bit further away from you. Just compressing the shoulder a little bit, starting to feel a little bit of a stretch. Just noticing the sensation and paying attention to your breath. When you're ready, we'll draw the left hand back in so it's more underneath your face, and then press yourself up. And we're just going to change sides. So taking that left arm underneath the right, laying onto the shoulder and stretching your right arm in front of you. And then slowly bringing that right hand back, so press yourself up again. And this time we're going to move the hands up. We're going to come into Virasana, our hero pose. So again, you could sit on blocks here, or if it's not suitable for you, just swing your legs round towards the front. So sitting on a block or legs round to the front. We're going to take your hands, we're going to stretch your shoulders. So you can take your hands behind you, maybe just interlink your fingers, drawing the shoulders together at the back, so opening up through your chest. And you might release the head back. It's really up to you. Just see how your head and neck feels. Maybe you move your hands a little bit away from your back. And you can stay here if you like. If you want a little bit more, you could release your hands and then move the hands to the floor behind you. So you can then start to draw the shoulders back a little bit more. And maybe releasing the head, but just see how it all feels. Just breathing into it. Just noticing the sensations in your body. If you want a little bit more, you could start to lift your legs up off the mat here. So we lift the knees and then lift the shins maybe a little bit off the mat. And if it's not for you, just leave that bit out. Stretch through the top of your feet and your ankles. When you're ready, slowly releasing the legs back down. Start to walk your hands back towards you. And then we're going to come forwards to an all fours position. So you can just make your way onto your hands and onto your knees. We're going to do a little flow when you get there. So as you inhale, drop the belly and start to lift the chest forwards. As you exhale, we're just going to move the hips back, so towards your heels. As you inhale again, move forwards into a flat back position. And as you exhale, we're going to tuck the toes this time and lift your hips to downward facing dog. So when you're ready, on your inhale, lift your heels, lower the knees down to the ground, so come back into that all fours position. As you exhale, press back to that child's pose. Inhaling, moving forwards into all fours. Maybe drop the belly and lift your chest. And on the exhale, tuck the toes and lift the hips, downward facing dog. Okay, we'll do that again. So inhale, lift the heels, lower the knees, come back into that all fours position. Exhale, press the hips back towards your heel. Inhale, moving forwards. Again, maybe you drop the belly and lift your chest up. And on the exhale, tuck the toes and lift the hips, downward dog. So we're just going to keep moving through this. Quite a simple flow. And the idea with it, you lower your knees down, is to concentrate more on the breath rather than the movement itself. So moving back into that child's pose. And kind of calming yourself using the movement and using the breath. Concentrating on the breath more. And just moving and breathing. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So again, just take your time. And when you're ready, we're going to make our way back to down dog. So we're just going to hold in that downward dog this time. And you come into, make some movement if you like. So you could maybe bend one knee. And then bending the other knee. And just see how it feels when you get there. Spread your hands, draw your belly in. Keeping your breath nice and smooth. Then from there, when you're ready, on an inhale, we're going to move forwards to a plank position. As you move forwards into plank, you could lower your knees down. So it's really up to you. You just have to stay where you can. So knees up or down. Maybe you draw your belly in and round your shoulders a little bit. And I'm going to give you something to contemplate as we're holding here. I am not my body. I am not my mind. I am not my body. I am that which observes my body moving. I am not my mind. I am that which observes my mind thinking. Okay, we're going to lower it down. So you can lower your knees first, or bend your elbows, lower yourself all the way to the mat. When you get there, point your toes behind you and have your hands underneath your shoulders. As you inhale, we'll draw the shoulders back. So lift your chest a little bit, tuck your chin under so you're looking down to your mat. Exhale, slowly release all the way back down. Do that again. So inhale, draw the shoulders back, lift your chest a little. Exhale to lower down. Again, keep moving through that. So just working through the movement, through the breath. Again, it's not important where we get to. So we're not trying to achieve anything. We're not trying to come up higher. We're not trying to move further. So losing the agenda, just moving and breathing. Well done. We'll do that one more time. And when you're ready, just release down. And then from here, using your hands, just push yourself back up to an all fours position again. Walk your knees in. And then tuck your toes and lift your hips, downward facing dog. As you come into this down dog this time, maybe try and find a little bit of stillness. And in the stillness, like we did in that plank position, trying to cultivate feelings of calm. So again, trying to avoid the reactions, which would be just to move here and to fidget a little bit. And to try instead to create responses. Responses are planned movements that we're going to make and thought out, not in a agenda setting kind of way, but at the time we can make decisions to suit ourselves. For example, lowering your knees or bending your knees a little bit would be a response. Okay, on your next inhale, lift the heels up, looking forward. You're just going to walk or step towards the top of your mat. So just take your time. And when you get there, just separate your feet and bend your knees and just fold towards your legs a little. You can either have your hands on your legs or maybe take hold of opposite elbows here and very gently sway. So without it being a big movement and still drawing the belly in to support your low back. And from there, release your hands all the way down. And as you inhale, we're going to start to lengthen your spine, but still tuck your chin under as you lengthen forwards. On the exhale, we'll fold back in again. On the inhale, we'll reach up, so rising all the way up, reaching with your hands. And on the exhale, we'll draw the palms together just in front of your heart. Let's continue from there. So inhale to reach back up. And on the exhale, folding forwards, bending into your knees, taking your time. As you inhale, lengthen forwards through your spine. On the exhale, folding back in. As you inhale, reach up. On the exhale, palms meet the heart. Inhale to reach. Exhale to fold. Lengthen on the inhale. Hold in on the exhale. Inhale to reach. Exhale, palms meet the heart. We'll do that again. So start to move in your own breath, in your own way. It doesn't really matter if you kind of lose the movement. Just move and breathe, taking your time, working with your own breath, calming your mind. And we'll do that once more. We're going to add a little change into it. So inhale to reach. Fold forwards on the exhale. Lengthen on the inhale. And on the exhale, we'll take the hands down and we'll step back to plank again. So again, as soon as you come into that plank position, you can lower your knees to the ground. So you don't have to keep them lifted. But round your back a little bit, draw your belly in, spread your fingers. Breathe. Remain calm. I am not my body. I am that which observes my body moving. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. So we're going to lower to the ground again. So knees down or bend your elbows, lower yourself all the way down. When you get there, release your toes behind you. So again, draw your hands in so they're underneath your shoulders. And then we'll start to move again. So inhale, draw the shoulders back, lift your chest a little without having to get anywhere. Exhale to lower down. We'll do that again. This time as you're doing it, try and keep really light on your hands. So there's very little weight into the hands. And we're starting to warm up through the lower back. Again, without having to move too high, just moving and breathing. Okay, we'll do that once more, so just take your time. And then this time as you lower down, you can either do one more cobra or move your hands down a little bit so they're kind of mid-chest. And we'll come up to upward facing dog. So the toes are pointed behind you. As you inhale, draw your shoulders back, lift up, and maybe start to lift your hips a little bit off the ground. Maybe your thighs lift. Keep a slight softness in your elbows so we're not locking them out. And make sure you can breathe here. And we're going to move back into downward dog. So you could just bend your knees and move to all fours and then tuck your toes and lift your hips to down dog. It's really up to you. And again, when you get there, after you've made the initial adjustments, try and find a sense of stillness, a sense of calm. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. So again, we'll lift the heels up, looking forward. So you can step or you can walk up towards the top of your mat and separate your feet when you get there. So again, bend your knees, fold forwards. Maybe take hold of your elbows again if you'd like. Gently move. And then from there, releasing your hands back down again. So again, as you inhale, we'll start to lengthen your spine. So moving the hands up the legs. Exhale, just folding back in again. As you inhale, we'll reach up, so rising all the way up. And on the exhale, we'll just draw the palms together in front of your heart. Maybe closing your eyes for a moment this time to see how your mind's doing. Check in with it. I am not my mind. I am that which observes my mind thinking. Okay, we'll release the hands, we'll open the eyes. So we're going to come into Utkatasana, our chair pose. So you can either have your feet together or you can separate them a little bit. And then as you inhale, we'll bend the knees and we'll just reach the arms forward and up. And again, as you do that, you might want to lower your hands a little bit if it feels too much for your shoulders, but keep them lifted if you'd like and draw your shoulders down your back. So you just work where you can. And maybe look at your thumbs here if you can. And then try and keep your weight slightly back into your heels. So belly pulls in. If you've got your feet together, maybe you can squeeze your legs together a little. Now from here, we're going to take an inhale. And then on your exhale, we're just going to fold forward, but we're going to take your chest down towards your thighs and just let the arms kind of dangle. As you inhale, come back into chair. So reach forward with your arms. And then stay here on the exhale. Now, as you inhale, we're going to reach up, so we're going to lift up. And you might take a tiny back bend here, so you can lean back a little. And then on the exhale, we're going to fold all the way forwards again, bending into your knees, chest, down onto your thighs. Inhale, come back into that chair again. And then hold here on the exhale. As you inhale, reaching up again, so maybe just rise up, or maybe take that little back bend as you lean back a little. Exhale, bend the knees, lower the chest, release the arms. Inhale, back into that chair. Good. Hold here on the exhale. Inhale, start to rise up. Again, maybe take a little leaning back, just a bit, feels right. Exhale, all the way down. Good. Okay, on your next inhale, we'll come back into our chair. We're going to stay in our chair for a moment or two here. So just staying in the chair. Again, you can release your arms down a little bit if that feels better to you. Squeeze the legs, draw your belly in, try and remain calm as you hold the posture. Okay, we're going to take one more inhale and then we're going to straighten the legs as we fold in, not too much, but you can straighten them a little, just folding forwards towards your legs. As you inhale here, lengthen forwards through your spine, so move your hands up the legs. And on the exhale, release the hands and step back into that plank position one more time. So again, as you come in, try and find a position that you can stay in. So knees up or down, spread your fingers, try and remain calm, draw your belly in. Find your breath and your drishti here as well. So locate the drishti, just stay with it, keep it soft, keep the breath even. Trying to remain non-reactive. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. So we're going to lower to the ground again. So knees down, if you like, or bend your elbows, lower all the way to the mat. When you get there, point your toes behind you, keep your hands under your shoulders, and as you inhale, draw your shoulders back, lift your chest a little bit, keeping the chin tucked. Exhale, lower down. So do that again. So inhale, coming up, and exhale to lower. Again, we're not having to come up high, it's just a tiny baby cobra. So we're keeping the movement small, manageable. And if you can imagine the movement and your breath like a wave. So rising up and lowering back down. And the calming movement and breath that you're generating here. Okay, we'll do one more. So again, lower yourself back down. If you'd like to, and it's in you, we'll come up to that upward facing dog again. So move your hands further down, draw your elbows in. As you inhale, draw the shoulders back, start to rise up. So to any degree, you don't have to lift up that high, but keep your elbows bent, lift your chest forward, breathe deeply. Right. Now from here again, we're going to move to downward dog. So you could come tall, of course, or you could flip over your toes and push your hips up, downward facing dog. But you just move in your way, make your movements when you get there, and then hold still. And maybe take a deep inhale through your nose this time, and then give it a big sigh out your mouth. So just let everything go that you do not need. Now, this time, we're going to step your right foot up towards the top. You're going to step it behind the heel of your right hand. So step your right foot forward, so it's behind the heel. So it's quite a wide warrior one that we're coming into. So spin the heel on the back leg, and then rise up into warrior one, just taking your time. So the legs are pretty far apart. You don't have to be far apart that way, so lengthways. You just step your foot in if you need to. But wide in the sense that we've got space to move our hips and our shoulders round, and the back heel is pressing down. And then as you inhale, you could start to just reach with your arms. But again, just see how that feels. And breathe there. The idea here is that we're going to try to lengthen the inhale breath. As we do that, the exhale will actually lengthen itself. So we're just concentrating on the inhale. And we're going to move through it. So you could stay still if you wanted to. So as you inhale, we're just going to reach up with your arms. So just checking in on that inhale breath, see how it is. Now on the exhale, we're going to start to straighten your front leg. I'm going to move the arms down. So start to see if you can lengthen the breath. So as you inhale, start to reach the arms up, re-bending the leg as you do that, pushing through the outer edge of your back foot. And then on the exhale, slowly release down. Now do that again. So as you inhale, start to imagine that you're kind of drawing the air through your straw. So we're sipping it a little tiny bit at a time. And then on the exhale, release down. Okay, we'll do that twice more. So again, start to bend the legs, start to reach with the arms, push back through that left foot. Exhale to lower. Okay, we'll do that one more time. As you exhale and lower, we're going to stay here with our legs straight. And we're going to come in for Parsvottanasana. So you might want to hop your back foot in. You might want to grab some blocks if you've got them, so you can use them. So with the back foot hopped in, the shoulders and hips are still forward and the legs are now straight. So if you want to, you could just place your hands on your hips and then lift your chest, lift your belly, and then just move forwards a little bit. So you might just stay here just with this flat back and with your hands on your hips. You might place your hands onto your front thigh if that felt better. And if you've got blocks, you could have one either side of your front foot, move your hands to your blocks, or maybe you can release your hands down towards the ground. Again, you just work with what feels best to you. We're not trying to get anywhere. We have no agenda set. We're just moving and breathing and finding out where it takes us. Now you can stay in Parasvatanasana. If you wanted to, you could come in and try a twisted version of triangle. So that would involve us keeping our left hand either on the block or on the floor, wherever you can manage. And your right hand could either go to your right hip, or maybe you could reach up through your right fingertips. So we rotate the chest round towards the right side. But just watch your right hip doesn't push out to the side. So try and draw it in towards the middle line a little bit more and draw the inner thighs together and without any force. So take care that you're doing what feels right for you. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. We'll slowly release that right hand and then we're going to bend your front leg. So you can just bend it and we're coming back into warrior one. So if you can lift your chest up and maybe reach up with your hands. Good. Again, just see how it feels. So as we stay in a posture for longer, then our body tends to become agitated. So we need to use the breath to keep us calm. And we're going to move through it. So when you're ready, bring your hands towards the center of your chest. As you inhale here, we're just going to push the hands together and lift them up. And on the exhale, you're going to circle the arms back and bring them all the way back round towards your chest again. So we'll do that again. So inhale, push the hands together, lift the arms up, circle them round, and draw them back in. We'll just do that one more time. So when you're ready, inhale, push the arms up, circle them back, draw them in. Okay, very nice. Now from here, if you can, we're going to turn onto the toes of your back legs. So we move into more of a high crescent lunge position. And you can definitely stay here if you'd like. Otherwise, we're going to move into warrior three. So as you do that, you push into your front leg. You might just hop the back foot in a little bit. And you can use a wall here if you'd like. And maybe just hop the back foot up and down. So you can always lift it up and place it back down again. If you can, lift it up and hold it. Again, to see how that feels. And maybe you can straighten the back leg. Maybe you can straighten the front leg. But you just work with what feels right. Keep yourself balanced. Use a wall if you need to. Remember, we're still fixing our gaze. And we're still trying to steady our breath. Well done. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. Now from here, make sure your hands are towards your chest. Start to lift your chest, and then maybe if you can, bring your foot towards the front foot. Bring your feet together, hands together. You just close your eyes for a moment. Just see how all of that feels in your body. I'm not my body. I am that which observes my body moving. Okay, we'll try it on the other side. So we are going to come in through a sun salutation, but you could equally step back with your right leg into warrior one if you wanted to. So we'll come up towards the top of your mat, spreading your toes, making sure your feet are either together or apart, whatever suits you. Release your shoulders down your back. And as you inhale, we're just going to reach up with your arms. So maybe looking at your thumbs. On the exhale, folding forwards, bending into your knees as you lower down. As you inhale here, lengthen forwards through your spine. And on the exhale, we'll take the hands down. We'll step to plank. We're not going to hold here. You'll be glad to know. So you can lower your knees if you like, or bend your elbows and lower halfway to chaturanga. As you inhale, either upward facing or cobra, so it's really up to you. And then on the exhale, we'll make our way back, downward dog. So again, you can bend your knees or you can flip over your toes and press back downward facing dog. Good. Maybe take a big inhale through your nose and sigh it out your mouth. Just let it go. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to step your left foot. So again, it's the heel of your left hand. So kind of directly behind that left hand. It doesn't have to be as very close to it, but it's there. And then turn on the heel of your back leg and rise up to warrior one. And the same thing applies when you come up. If it's not right, if your feet are not right, adjust them. Toes of the back foot turn in and maybe reach your arms up. But just see how it all feels when you get there. Try and stay as centered as you can in the posture, remember, still. And the shoulders and hips are rotating towards the top of your mat. So we'll start to think about our breath again. So as you inhale, just start to gently reach up towards the sky, so lengthening through the side body. And then as you exhale, start to straighten that front leg, lowering the hands down. So starting to lengthen the breath. So as you inhale, start to lift up, take your time, bending into the knee. Exhale, move the arms down. So the speed will be dictated by your breath. So if you're running out of air, then speed your movement up a little bit. See if you can slow it down, but you can't force it to slow down. And you just have to work with the speed of your breath. Again, try and imagine you're sipping it a little tiny piece at a time through your straw. Yeah, well done. Okay, we'll do that twice more. So again, just work at your own pace. Don't worry about anybody else. Think about slowing your breath, steadying your mind, steadying your gaze. So the next time you come into that straight leg position, we're going to stay here. So with our legs straight. Again, we are moving into Parsvottanasana. So if you do want to hop the back foot in a little bit, please do. Shoulders and hips forward and the legs are straight. So we'll lift the belly and the chest. We'll start to lean forwards a little bit. So keeping that spine really long if you can as you come forward. So hands to hips or hands to the front thigh. And you may stay here, or maybe you release your hands either to a block or to the floor. Again, draw the left hip in. Give the inner thighs a little squeeze. Draw your belly up. Now you can stay in Parsvottanasana if you'd like to. If you want to come into that twisted version of triangle, then using your right hand either on the block or the floor, left hand to the left hip perhaps, or maybe reach up and open through your left fingertips. But just see how it all feels. You don't have to come into it. You can always adjust and move in your own way. And notice your breath. So your body will influence your breath. And the breath will influence your body. So we can control our breath and influence how our body feels. But also the body, if it feels agitated, it will change your breath a bit. Okay, release that left hand down. We'll rebend your left leg and we'll move back up into our warrior one position. Good. And again, as we come up this time, we'll draw the palms towards the center of your chest. So still working with our breath, still trying to remain calm in this position, which we've held for a little bit now. As you inhale, we'll press the palms together, start to reach the arms up. And as you exhale, circle the arms back and then draw them back in towards your chest. So do that again. So inhale, push the palms, reach them up. Exhale, circle the arms, bring them back down. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So take your time, so push and lift. Circle back and round. Very nice. Okay, so from here, again, we're going to turn into the toes of your back leg. So we're just lifting up onto the ball of your foot. And you can use a wall here, or you can just stay in this high lunge, or move into warrior three. So maybe bending into the front leg, hop your back foot in a little bit. It's probably too far away to move into. And then start to lift. You can always pop it back down if you need to. And then maybe lift and hover. Keeping your front leg bent. Maybe extend your back leg and straighten your front leg. Just work with what feels right. Steadying your gaze. Smoothing out your breath. Calming your mind. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. So make sure your hands are towards the center. Again, as you lower your legs, start to lift your chest up. Maybe you can bring your feet together at the top of your mat. And when you come there, you close your eyes, notice your body. And notice the thoughts that you generate in your mind as well, because we want to be kind, especially in our balanced postures, which are challenging. Remember that when you're talking to yourself, just talk as if you were speaking to your friend. Okay, we'll release the hands, we'll open the eyes. We have one more flow to get down towards the mat. Again, you could just make your way down onto your front if you'd like. Otherwise, if you come with me, we'll start at the top, spreading the toes, releasing the shoulders. As you inhale, we'll reach back up with your arms. On the exhale, just folding forwards, taking your time. As you inhale here, lengthen forwards through your spine. And on the exhale, step back to plank. We'll not hold it this time. When you get there, either lower your knees straight away or bend your elbows and lower yourself all the way down to the ground. When you get there, release your feet. Bring your arms down, maybe drop your head down for a moment. So just dropping the head towards your arms. Just take a moment to appreciate how you feel here. And from here, we're going to come in for our bow pose. So if you'd like to, you can just start to bend your knees. And again, you work where you work here, so it's just entirely up to you. So you could just do the legs, keeping your arms and your head drop down. And you could just start to lift your thighs a little tiny bit off the ground. If you want to use the upper body, then reaching your hands back towards your feet. Maybe you can lift your chest up and lift your thighs at the same time. If you would like, you could also take hold of your feet or your ankles. And as you do that, just before you rise up, make sure you draw your inner thighs towards one another. And then as you inhale, without stress, start to press your feet gently into your hands. Start to lift the upper body a little, keeping your chin tucked, so you don't have to strain the neck. And make sure you can breathe when you get to wherever you are. Make sure you can breathe smoothly and deeply. Take one more inhale. And then slowly and carefully release everything back down. So taking care as you release it. Maybe bring your arms back around and maybe lower your head towards your arms. And if you want to here, without coming back into bow, just bend your legs and just gently move your legs a little bit side to side. From there, release your legs, and then using your hands, you're just going to press back up into an all fours position. And then you're just going to move your hips back into a child's pose. So just pressing the hips back. It's a little bit of a stretch through the lower back. And you can again bend your elbows or support your head, whatever you need to do with your upper body. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to walk your hands just back towards your knees. So we're back in Virasana. You can bring yourself round towards the front if you like. We are going to come in and do half Virasana as a seated position. And again, it doesn't suit everyone, so you just have to work. And I'll give you an alternative if you like. You can sit in a block as well. So we're going to swing your right leg round towards the front. We're going to sit off that left heel, so we're kind of sitting on it, and again grab a block and sit on that. So because Virasana or half Virasana is quite a strong movement in the knee. It doesn't suit everyone. So always come into Janu Shirasana. So with the sole of the foot towards the inner thigh, if that suits your knee better. So you just have to work where you want to. And if you do have a strap, then you could grab a strap. So we're going to fold forward in both of these postures, or either of these postures. You're not going to do both. So whichever one you choose, either with your foot bent behind you or with your foot to the inner thigh. Right leg straight, and we'll reach up on an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to fold forwards, just gently towards your legs. So you might just place your hands onto your leg, the floor, your ankle or your foot. And if you've got your strap, just hook it around the right foot. Again, without force or without pulling too much. Start to release into. So maybe you still fix your gaze, maybe on your toes here. Once you've settled your gaze, try and focus on your breathing again. Steadying the breath. So particularly with these seated postures, we want to be able to relax into them enough so that the muscle will actually respond in a positive way and stretch. But if we strain, if we move too quickly into something or too far into something, then the likelihood of the muscles actually gaining any flexibility are very, very slim. So think about that when you're in them. Try and maybe just back off them a little bit so there's a softness there. Calmness. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. We're just going to slowly release. If you've got your strap, you can release that, releasing your foot. And then we're going to come in for half Gomukhasana here. So we're going to bring that left foot forward. So it's going to have the sole of your foot on the ground and then cross it over the right leg. So to come into half Gomukhasana, we want to have the knees of both legs stacked on top of one another. So if you can move your left knee down a little bit, so it's kind of stacked. If it's quite high, it doesn't matter, but we're trying to get them kind of in the same position. And then with your left foot, if you can, we draw that around the side of the right thigh somewhere. And again, just see how it feels. And then as you inhale again, we'll reach up, and on the exhale, we'll just fold forwards. Again, take your time, move into it slowly, see how it feels. In this half Gomukhasana stretch, we get, or you might feel a really strong stretch down the side of your right thigh. And this is a muscle called the psoas, which is the only muscle which actually connects your spine to your legs. It's a really important one. And in some philosophies, it's referred to as the muscle of the soul. So it's a really important connective muscle. And if it is kind of blocked in any way, it can cause a lot of issues, both kind of physically and emotionally. And physically, it kind of results for a lot of people in sciatic types of pains, where it's kind of a shooting pain down your leg, but it's actually the back that's really the problem. Try and soften into it, allow it to open up a little. When you're ready, we'll slowly start to release that. So again, take your time, move out of them slowly so the muscles have time to react to it, and then release the legs. You can bring them both forwards. Maybe give them a little shake out. So we'll come in for the other side. So we're going to do the half Virasana or Janu Shirasana. So keep the left leg straight. And if you want to do the Virasana, you're just going to bend your right leg behind you so your foot comes to the outer edge. Again, sitting on a block, if you feel, particularly if you feel your hips are not that level, sitting on a block might help with that. And Janu Shirasana is your option. Inhale to reach, exhale to fold. Again, coming into any comfortable degree without forcing it. Settle your gaze somewhere soft. So you might close your eyes. It's not wrong to close your eyes. You might feel that's right. Start to steady your breath. And maybe work on lengthening the inhale. You will take one more inhale. And then just when you're ready, slowly release, start to move back up again. Take your time. Bringing that right leg forwards, again, placing the foot on the ground, and then taking the foot over the top of the left leg. Coming into half Gomukhasana again. Start to stack your knees as best you can. Start to move your left foot, maybe round, right foot even, round to that left thigh. And start to feel balanced. So again, when you're ready, on your inhale, we'll reach up, exhale, holding in to any position without force, without having an agenda set before you move. And responding rather than being reactive. Just paying particular attention to where your mind goes in these quieter moments. Try and remain as present as you can. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly start to release. So just come back up again, release your legs. Come a little shake. So we're going to move down onto your mat. Now we've got one little final flow on your mat. So you can take yourself down onto your back. So as you come onto your back with your feet flat onto the ground, we're going to pick your feet up off the ground. So we're just going to come into a little tiny little bit of our core work. I'm going to reach your arms just over your head, so stretch them away. And then lift your feet up. So we're lifting the legs up towards the ceiling. Now as you inhale here, we're going to bend your legs and we're going to reach the arms forward and lift your upper body up off the ground. So squeezing your legs in towards your chest. And then on the exhale, we're going to lift all the way back up again. Arms go overhead. So do that again. So inhale, bend the knees, draw them in, lift your upper body, give it a little squeeze. Exhale, extend and lengthen, reach overhead. Now keep that going. So see how smooth you can be in the movement. See if you can lengthen your inhale. Okay, we'll do this twice more, so just take your time. And last one. Now, as you come back up, we'll keep the legs lifted and then we're just going to release your arms just down by your sides. Now, if you wanted to here, you could definitely grab a block. So we're just in our legs up position. So if you want to grab a block, just release your feet, lift your hips, place the block underneath your hips, and then lift the legs back up again. So again, just do what feels comfortable. If it's not comfortable, just to hold your legs up here and definitely grab a block. And then if anybody does have a shoulder balance in your practice, you could come into that now as well. It's really, again, entirely up to you. If you want to stay here, or push up and lift up into shoulder balance. And maybe today, if you are in a shoulder balance, rather than have your toes directly over your hips, just move the feet slightly behind you. It just results in a more calming version of it. your arm and shoulder balance. Maybe start to bend your knees and bring the legs over your head. So again, just wherever you can, wherever it feels right. And then we'll just start to lower down. So take your time lowering your legs. If you've got a block, you might want to remove the block and lower your legs down. And we'll draw the knees just in towards your chest. Take any little movements you'd like to there. And then either with the knees in towards your chest or the feet flat on the floor, we're going to spread your arms to that T shape. And we're going to allow the legs just to move over to one side. And as you do that, you might turn your head and look along the opposite arm. As you inhale, move back into the center. And again, we'll go the other way. So again, feet on the ground if you'd like, or knees lifted a little bit. Turn your knees, turn your head. And you're ready, move back in towards the middle. So as you come into the center again, you might take hold of your knees and just circle them round again. Any final little movements that you want to make, then do that. So we are going to come into Shavasana next. If you do want to grab a jumper here or put some socks on, then please do. And then just finding a comfortable position. Just let yourself rest. The past has already gone, and the future has yet to come. Concentrate on being peaceful, happy, and free in this present moment. Concentrate on being aware of each breath. Allow the attention on the breath to be continuous. Follow the breath as it begins and your abdomen starts to expand. Continue to pay attention as your abdomen rises and falls with each breath. Like a child going high and low on a swing. Like a swing, your breath slows down at each end. Follow it all the way as it slows down and starts again. Embrace your breath with care and attention. Thoughts stay in the background. Enjoy the rhythmic rise and fall of your abdomen. Enjoy staying in the here and the now. Stop running forwards and backwards. Our mind keeps producing thoughts. That's its nature. Try not to follow the thoughts. Concentrate on the breath. Feel comfortable and at ease. With each breath, let go of tension somewhere in your mind and your body. Be aware that thoughts can bring tension to your face. With each breath, relax the facial muscles and smile. There are sensations in your body. Just accept them. Be aware of your posture. Be aware of the rush of air around your nostrils as you breathe in. If there are sounds, do not react to them. Just notice them and let them go. Continue to enjoy breathing peacefully. A river of feelings and thoughts is flowing, but you're not drowning in it. The concentration on the breath is like the anchor that prevents the boat from drifting. Focusing on our breath keeps us from getting lost in thought. Notice sounds, skin sensations, without reacting to them. Smile at disturbances such as memories, little itches, and noises. Smiling relaxes us. Feel content with each breath. Arrive in the here and the now. Breathe comfortably. Your mind is peaceful. Your body free of tension. Feel calm and rested. Feel free. Feel at home. When you're ready, we'll take a deep inhale through your nose and then just sigh it out your mouth. You can do that again, just deeply inhale and then just let it go. And then we'll just start to move a little. So any little movements through your fingers, your toes that you want to make. Maybe stretching your arms over your head. So taking that time to take a full stretch through your body. And then maybe bring the arms back over and think about bending the knees. And just a little movement so through your knees, through your hips, whatever feels right. If you do like to roll over onto your side, then do that as well. And then just when you're ready, we'll just start to come up. When you're ready, we'll find a seat that's comfortable. Bring your palms together, just in front of your heart. Just leaving a gap just to signify an openness in your heart. So thank you so much for coming along and practicing with me this morning. Hope you enjoyed the calm practice that we did. Namaste. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. I'll just stop. I'll stop the recording, then you can unmute yourself.